Hello, welcome back to Social Studies. What are family traditions? Exploring our own family traditions and those of others in the world around us. Lesson 9. Grab your Social Studies packet. This page should be the first page on your pile, unless you didn't create your holiday book, which was just a coloring book. That was 2 pages. It might be just underneath that. Be sure and put your name on the top of the page. See where it says name? Right there by Unit 13 Traditions. So we're going to learn specifically about 4 holiday traditions: Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Las Posadas. We'll learn about Kwanzaa and Las Posadas when we return from our winter break. Let's start out with Christmas, okay? So we're going to do the first holiday together because a lot of us, we mostly know about Christmas. So we can do this one without too much studying. Let's start out with decorations. What kinds of decorations do we use for Christmas? Let me hear some. What can you think of? Yeah? Yep. Give me 2 more. Okay, that's good. Trees, lights, tinsel, holly, stockings, elves, Santa, ornaments on a tree. There's just not enough room for all the things we could think of, right? What about food? Is there special food for Christmas? What can you think of? Yeah, candy, like candy canes. Yep. Sure, some people have turkey, right? Some people have ham. Yeah. How about cookies? Christmas cookies, candy canes, turkey. Ooh, mashed potatoes, one of my favorites. All right, what about clothing for Christmas? Do you and your family do anything special at Christmas with clothing? Right, special Christmas pajamas. Yep. Oh yeah, sometimes you dress up so you can go to church, or sometimes you go to families like grandma and grandpa's house and mom wants you to dress up nice. You wear red. Yeah, I thought of one too. So pajamas, nice outfit. What about ugly Christmas sweaters? That's a tradition that a lot of adults are into. How about activities? What do we do at Christmas that's special? Yes, we decorate Christmas trees. Yep. We open presents. We sure do. We go to church. Yep. Hey, how about this? We sing songs. We make cookies and cocoa. We open presents. We open up our stockings, see what Santa got us. A lot of things, right? So you should have all of this written on your page. So right down the row like I did. If you need to, you can pause the video here and then just start it up as soon as you're caught up. Because I just realized I went through that pretty fast, didn't I? I wasn't thinking about having you write it down at the time I was reading it all to you. So why don't you go ahead and pause, fill in these 4 boxes on yours. Don't write too big because you want to be able to fit a couple of things at least in each box. You don't have to copy all of everything in every box. But maybe like in decorations, you put trees, lights, tinsel. Under food, cookies, candy canes, mashed potatoes, because that's my favorite. In clothes, you could put pajamas, Christmas sweater, or a nice outfit. All right, so pause and restart when you're ready. All right, this is what yours should look like. Hanukkah. That's the next holiday we're going to cover. Hanukkah starts on December 10th this year. Hanukkah lasts for 8 days. Let's read more about Hanukkah. I'm going to read you a story called The First Night of Hanukkah. It's written and illustrated by Nikki Weiss. It was the first night of Hanukkah. Everyone was getting ready. Grandma was in the kitchen. Dad was helping make potato pancakes. Mom was setting the table, and Molly was helping Uncle Dan polish the menorah. Uncle Dan said, "When I was your age, I helped my mother polish the menorah. And now you're helping me. It's a tradition that we are passing on. That is how it was, and how it still is." Molly wanted to know what else he remembered. "Oh, I always lit the candles," Uncle Dan said. "But first my mother would tell me the story of Hanukkah." Uncle Dan put Molly on his lap. "Would you tell me the story?" asked Molly. "Sure," said Uncle Dan. A long, long time ago, there was a king. His name was Antiochus. You say it like this: Antiochus. King Antiochus ruled over all the people of Israel. But the king had a hard heart. He made a law. Everyone in the land had to pray to all his gods. Now the Jews of Israel prayed to only one God. They would not obey the king's law. "We will keep on praying to our one God," they said. "We will not pray to many gods." You can imagine. This made King Antiochus very mad. He told the Jews, "If I catch you praying to your one God, you will be killed." Then the king sent his army to the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. This was the most important place for Jews to pray. The soldiers broke all the holy things in the temple. They put a statue of one of their gods inside, and so the Jews could not pray there anymore. But this did not stop the Jews. There was a brave man named Matthias. You say it like Matthias. He lived in the village of Modin near Jerusalem. Matthias and his 5 sons still prayed for one guy. Other Jews heard about Matthias and his family. From far and near, they came to join them. They learned about Jewish ways. The king also heard about Matthias's family. He heard what Matthias and the other Jews were doing. Breaking the law, praying to one God, following Jewish ways. King Antiochus became even madder. He sent his army to Modin to kill the Jews. But the Jews of Modin were ready to fight. They were ready to protect their right to be Jews. So a long struggle began. On and on it went. For 3 years the Jews fought the king's army. Matthias died, but his son Judah Maccabee became their leader. Judah was a great fighter. Under him the Jews fought long and hard. The king's army was big. Even so, it could not win. The Maccabees just would not give up. In the end, the king's men gave up and left. Hooray! What a great day! Judah led everyone to Jerusalem. Now they would take back their temple. They would make it beautiful again. They would make it holy once more. All the Jews would be able to pray there again. Everyone went to work. They cleaned and polished. They got rid of the statue of the king's god. They made a new altar. At last the temple was ready to open again. Special prayers were said. Then it was time to light the great menorah. But there was only a small jar of holy oil. It was all the Jews could find. The jar held enough oil for just one day. Still, the lights kept on burning for 8 days. It was a miracle, Uncle Dan said. And since that time, the Jews have celebrated the holiday of Hanukkah. We use a special Hanukkah menorah. It has a place for 8 candles. There is also a place for the shamas. That is the candle that lights the others. We light 1 candle on the first night of Hanukkah. We light 2 on the second, and so on. On the last night, 8 candles are lit. 8 nights to remind us of the miracle of the oil and to remind us of brave Judah Maccabee and the Jews. And that's the story of Hanukkah, Uncle Dan said. Molly got down from his lap. Just in time, Grandma said. She put a plate of potato pancakes on the table. Dad put down bowls of applesauce and sour cream. Mom said, "Now let's light the menorah." Uncle Dan put 1 candle in the menorah. He lit the shamas. He handed it to Molly. Molly lit the first candle of the first night of Hanukkah. She said a prayer, just like Uncle Dan had done when he was her age, a tradition being passed down. How it was, how it is still, and how it will always be. So let's talk a little bit about filling in our information about Hanukkah. So here are some typical Hanukkah decorations. Now the colors of Christmas are red and white. The colors of Hanukkah are blue and white. On this door to the house, that is a Star of David. On one side is a menorah, and on the other is a Hanukkah wreath. So let's fill in the square for decorations for Hanukkah. Menorah, wreaths, Star of David, blue and white. Remember, if you need to, you can pause the video. Food. One of the favorites, well, here's a couple of my favorites. Jelly powdered donuts. They are full of jelly in the middle when you bite in. Yummy. Hanukkah gelt is chocolate candy coins. Kids usually play dreidel and use their coins to play. And the winner of each set gets to keep all the coins. And potato pancakes. They're similar to, I guess they're pretty close to hash browns. I think you guys would all like them. All right, let's fill out the next square. Food for Hanukkah. Jelly donuts, chocolate gelt, and latkes, which are potato pancakes. If you want, you can just put potato pancakes. Clothing. Now, they wear Hanukkah sweaters just like we do ugly Christmas sweaters. Notice the colors, blue and white. And special Hanukkah pajamas, just like you and your brothers and sisters might wear Christmas pajamas. And they often dress up to go to relatives' house or to go to church. And so there's a beautiful dress for Hanukkah, and it's in the Hanukkah colors. So for the clothing under Hanukkah, we could put pajamas, Hanukkah sweaters, dressy clothes. Here are some of the activities for Hanukkah. They light their menorah. It has 9 total candles. One is the shamas. Remember, the shamas candle is the one they use to light the other 8 candles. Also, they open presents just like you do at Christmas. Only they don't open all their presents on one night. They get one present every day of Hanukkah. So 8 total presents. And they play dreidel. If you see in the picture, there's some wooden dreidels. And you spin that and play with other children or your family. So the last box is for activities. I put light the menorah, play dreidel, open one gift each day. So you might want to pause the video right here so you can make sure you have all of this information on your tradition sheet. After our holiday break, we'll come back and we'll learn about Kwanzaa and Las Posadas. And then we have one more special holiday that I like to teach. So you're not getting homework, but in your packet, there's a coloring sheet for Hanukkah. You can take that page out and color it. If you want to, maybe get your mom or dad to hang it on the refrigerator. Or maybe you hang it on your bedroom door to remind you of what you've learned in social studies. There's also the dreidel game. This is a game sheet. Now, I don't know if you might have a way to run copies of this at home, but it might be fun to make some copies before you start playing, so you can play more than 4 games. So each row is one game, and you need to have color crayon, a different color for each person. Here's the directions for how to play. This is how to play dreidel, because I noticed that all the pages didn't copy for the directions in your packet. So here's how to play dreidel. If the dreidel lands on the first symbol, that green one, it's called none. Absolutely nothing happens. If you roll none, none in Yiddish means null, which means 0. So that means that your turn is over. And then the person to your left, or going clockwise is what we usually say, gets to spin. Now, if they get Gimel, then they get to take the whole pot, every piece of chocolate gelt in the pot. So before you start playing, everybody throws in one piece of chocolate candy. You could use raisins or peanuts, or you could use little rocks. Make sure you all start out with the same to make it even, just to see who wins, okay? So if you roll Gimel, you get everything that's in the pot. All the rocks, all the chocolates, whatever you're using to play the game, all the pennies. Because Gimel stands for ganz, which means whole. Everyone, including you, now puts another unit into the pot, and the person on the left tries their luck spinning. If they spin hey, this symbol, you get to take half the pot. Hey stands for halb, half. If the pot has an odd amount of units, don't try to split the penny, nut, or piece of chocolate in half. Leave the odd one there. So for instance, if there are 4, you take 2. But if there are 5, you wouldn't take 2.5. You would just take 2 and go ahead and leave the 3 in there for the next time. The last thing you could roll, there's only 4 sides to the dreidel, is called shin. It looks a little like a W, doesn't it? You put a unit into the pot. Shin is for shank. Yes, that means to give. So if you roll shin, you put one more into the pot. So if you were playing with rocks, you would put one more rock in the pot when you spun that. So you can speed up the game by upping the ante. raising shin, and post gimel, contributions to 2, 3, or even 4 units. Any player that cannot contribute after landing on a shin or a fellow player lands on a gimel is out of the game. The game ends when there is one player left. There's also another way to play using the game board that I gave you. And usually each player has their own game board. And you take turns spinning. And on the first row, you're all working on the first row. Let's say you spun the nun. You would go on that row and you'd color in one of the nun symbols. And then the next person would spin and they would color only on their sheet. If you spin and there are none left for you to color of that symbol, then you just don't get to do anything on that turn. The first person to color all their symbols on one row wins, and then you move to another row and play. And in that type of play and that game, you don't usually throw anything into the pot or play and bet your chocolate coins or rocks or peanuts. Okay? All right, I hope you have fun with this. So homework really isn't homework. Color your coloring sheet, play the dreidel game, and I just want to wish you all a wonderful winter break. Enjoy your time with your family, and we'll see you in the new year. It'll be 2021 when you come back to school.